Hi, I'm Michelle, and welcome to Undensify. The ending of 2023 had me to sort of collect my memories of the year in a sense of reflecting on what I actually did and accomplished for the year. I felt a need to enter 2024 letting go of things not only of 2023 but of my past. So I reflected on that for a moment, and I realized that one of the main things for me for 2023 was self-forgiveness. Now, I always talk to people about self-reflection, and I know many may say, what is the point of self-reflection? Why do we waste time in our past? Why do we need to go back, constantly be going back, to think of the things that may have hurt us, may have stirred the course of our lives, may have impacted us in very, very negative, hurtful ways? What is the point, some people may ask, of reliving things of our past when it's in our past? And I agree, we should be able to let go of the things that have hurt us, the things that have compromised us, the things that have shaped us and molded us into people that we are not particularly proud of, or not happy with, or not content with, whatever it is. But people who have or an image or character that has affected us today. The point of self-reflection is not simply about revisiting the hurts and the wounds and the pains and the memories and the things that we'd rather sweep under the rug. Sweep it away, brush it away, and pretend that it never happened. The point of self-reflection is not just to revisit those wounds, but the point of it is truly to heal from those things that hurt us in the past. To heal from them sufficiently that we can now look back in the past, if needs be, and feel no hurt. So the point of the self-reflection is for self-healing. Self-healing allows us to now look forward with hope, anticipation, awaiting abundance, knowing now that we have the room within ourselves to receive those blessings, because we've now let go of all the wounds and the pains and the hurts of the past. Self-reflection is very, very necessary in spiritual growth. It is very significant in being able to look at yourself and see the errors and to not repeat cycles, not only of your life, but your grandparents, your great-grandparents, the cycles of things that have affected us, whether it's things of anger or lack mentality, or not understanding how to deal with relationships, and constantly repeating the same thing over and over again, and then send it over to our children and our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on, because no one is taking the time to just pause and recognize the things in the past that have hurt them, because we're scared. No one wants to revisit that pain. No one wants to visit that pain. No one wants to feel the pain. But the pain that you're revisiting is not simply because you want to remember things that have hurt you, but it's because something in your life today is being affected. The way in which you're living today, something is happening in your life right now that you don't understand why it's happening. And this is the point where you need to stop and ask yourself, where did this start? Not just about today and how you feel today about it, but where did it come from? Let's just say, for example, there are two sisters, and the relationship between the two of them have been turmoil from the get-go. Years have gone by and they've been at loggerheads with each other, always arguing, always fighting, really having a relationship of turmoil and turbulence constantly, instead of being close sisters and supportive sisters and encouraging sisters and loving sisters as they could have been. Their whole lives have been about arguing, lying, backbiting, fighting, physical fighting, emotional hurt, horrible words being said to each other and about each other to everyone else. These are two sisters who could have been best friends their whole lives, but instead they've chosen to take the route of fighting and being bitter towards each other. And not only are they doing this to each other, they're also doing it to their families around them, their parents, their children, their siblings. Everyone's been affected by their constant bickering, but they have never once stopped, paused, just for one moment, one of them be the bigger one, and just simply say, why has our whole lives, why has it been about fighting? Why are we this way with each other? But instead of addressing that, we continue to fight. We continue this energy of it develops pain and turmoil and upset and discomfort and anger and high blood pressure and worry and stress and sleepless nights. It develops everything that is not good for us physically, mentally and spiritually, but we continue with it because somehow our ego has told us it feels good. Somehow something has told us that that's life. That's how families behave with each other. That's how sisters are supposed to behave with each other. Somehow we've convinced ourselves that this is the way it's supposed to be, despite how it has affected our lives today, despite how it is still probably affecting our lives, simply because we take no time to reflect on the past, to try to understand where did this hurt come from? Where did this relationship stem from? And maybe if we took the time to go back, we'll discover it could be something simple, like maybe the older one resents the younger one for stealing the spotlight. Maybe she was an only girl of a family of boys for a long time, and everyone doted after her because she was the only girl. And suddenly another girl came along, another sister. And now she's no longer the spotlight, and she feels that this child has taken her attention away from her. And so she resents her, and it stems from there, and it just develops and develops, and it just keeps developing, and no one stops to reflect to find out how or why did it start, and how can we do something to mend it, to move past it, to find love, because love is still there. It could be something as simple as probably when you were taking photos together and you were holding your little doll or your puppy or your favorite toy, and all of a sudden your sister came and took that toy away from you. The point is, the resentment started at a place where you were children, you were young, you didn't know what you were doing, you did things because you didn't understand what the effects of it could mean to the other person. We do things when we're children. But what we have to do is recognize that the things that we did as children, we could always deal with that. We could always work on it. We could always heal through it. Especially if today we're in our 50s, our 60s, our 70s, we can work through these things through self-reflection. I mean, some people prefer to go the professional way and go to a counselor or go to some sort of therapist and get some sort of therapy. And they feel that they need to be guided by someone who is qualified, quote unquote, to guide them down that same memory lane back to their past, to remember the things that had happened to them in their past, to heal from it in order to move forward. Some people prefer to choose a professional to do so. But at the end of the day, when you take the time to pause, to just switch the television off for a few minutes, turn the music down for a few minutes, just pause for a moment and just think about what it is that you're going through today. Whatever it is that is affecting you today is like the wound on your skin. You've suddenly found that you've got a massive bruise on your skin and you don't know where it came from, and it's painful. But instead of just taking an ointment to rub all over it, or to take some paracetamol, or to do something to just cover or heal what we can see, the best thing to do would be to find out why you have the bruise. Why has it surfaced? Why had it come to the surface? Why has it resurfaced? Why has this bruise come here? How did it come here? Where did it stem from? And how can I heal where it stemmed from? So that now it's gone and I can move on. I no longer have to suffer with it. I no longer just have to patch it up, and then we're smiling and laughing for a moment, and then suddenly the wound resurfaces. Self-reflection is about looking back in our past to be able to heal from the things that are affecting us today. Whether we choose to acknowledge that certain things are affecting us or not, whether we choose to acknowledge that the things that we're trying to sweep under the rug and say that it's in the past They only make a heap that you will trip over again, because it's just cycles. Whether you choose to acknowledge these things or not, as I said, whatever you sweep under the rug only creates a heap that if you don't trip over it, someone else will. Your daughter, your son, someone else is going to trip over it. But we're discovering today that in our lifetime, we have to deal with the things that have bothered us, or else they're only going to come back again in our lifetime. We have to take time to self-reflect. We have to take time and put away the pride and the ego, and put away whatever it is that makes us think that we're better than the other person. Put it aside, because it's about healing yourself. It's not about the other person. You're doing it for yourself. The importance of reflecting on yourself and revisiting the past is necessary to let go of the things that are holding us back, the things that are making us still weighty, the things that we're dealing with today. And we're questioning, why does this thing keep happening? Why are we constantly arguing over the same thing? Why can't we let it go and move forward? We have to revisit the past. I just thought, especially since we're starting this 2024 year, and all of us are having great plans and expectations and hopes and dreams and things that we want to accomplish for 2024, that we take the time to make room within ourselves to receive the abundance that's waiting for us by letting go and making space, letting go of the things of our past. Try a little self-reflection today. Namaste.